So everybody, welcome. And I would like to say, as always, you need to watch out for yourself and do what feels good for your body. And if something doesn't feel good, you don't do it. And you either make a modification for yourself, I'll offer modifications as well, or you can just not do that, whatever I'm suggesting, and join us then for the next pose. So you can come onto your back if you like, or you can remain sitting. It's up to you tonight for our centering. We will be starting our poses on the back, but so whatever makes you comfortable. And often after a long day, I always appreciate being able to lie down in Shavasana or with my knees bent. So make yourself comfortable in whatever way you like. Our class tonight is going to be focused on the hips and also on the pelvis, keeping the pelvis in alignment, not tipping it so much, but keeping it going the same way all the time. And that's, a nice way to help protect the pelvis and the sacrum and the sacroiliac joint. And then we'll be doing different things to strengthen our hips and open our hips and just have a good time. So however you are, on your back or seated, go ahead and close your eyes. Have your hands with the palms facing up. And if you're sitting, lengthen through your spine. And if you're lying down, let your feet go out to the side, toes dropping out. And then begin to focus on your breath. Feeling the inhale and the exhale. And just noticing your natural breath, not changing it any way at all. Notice how your body feels. Do a body scan to see if there's anything that feels tense or not comfortable, and then try to release that and then settle back into stillness. And now take one of your hands onto your belly and just notice as you breathe what happens in your belly. Again, we're not changing the breath any, we're just noticing. And you may feel your hand rise as you inhale and then fall back in towards the body as you exhale. Other parts of your body may be moving as well. Your lungs, your rib cage may be moving, and the upper chest maybe also. Now I'd like you to take your other hand and put it on your chest, your upper chest. And now I'm going to ask you to try and breathe without moving your upper chest. Just have the breath in the lungs and the lower belly. So we're changing the breath a little bit. Feeling the ribs expand and feel the belly expand. On the inhale, but the upper chest is completely still. And then release your hands and go back to your natural breath. Now take your hands and rub them together. Your eyes are still closed. Rub them together until you get some nice warmth in your hands. And then cup your hands over your eyes with your fingertips on your forehead and the heel of your hand on your cheekbones. And feel the warmth in that area for the eyes, maybe even for the forehead a little bit. Relaxing those muscles there, feeling the eyes release. Let's do that one more time. Rub the hands, warming them up. And then once again, covering your eyes with your hands cupped. And then begin to open your eyes. And just barely, as you're opening your eyes, begin to spread your fingers. And then eventually release your hands away from your eyes. Okay. Let's come onto our backs if you're not already there. Let's do this nice full body stretch to begin with. So reach out through your fingers and your feet. Oh, yes. Nice stretch out before we start our other poses. Okay. Let's bend both knees, feet on the floor. And we're going to draw the right knee in. And you can hold it around the shin or the thigh, whatever's best for you tonight. You want your shoulders to be able to relax on the floor. And let's go ahead and lengthen the left leg out if you want to. You don't have to. We're going to flex the left foot if it's out, if your leg is out. You're getting a nice gentle stretch on the low back on the right side as you're doing this. And you may find yourself with your thigh, your right thigh moving up and down along with your breath, giving a gentle massage for your internal organs on the right side. And then let's point and flex the right toes. So flexing the right foot, bringing the toes towards your head as much as you can, and then pointing away. And when you flex your foot, spread your toes as wide as you can. And then as you point, curl your toes down. So we're beginning to move our ankle and our toes, as well as getting this nice stretch. And then let's begin to circle the right foot. And as we're here, we're going to try and reach every part of that ankle. Nice, slow circles. And then reverse those circles. And then release the right foot to the floor. And let's bring the left foot to the floor as well. And the knees are bent. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to draw the left knee in towards the chest. You can have your hands around your shin or your thigh. It may be different for the different sides. It just depends on your body. And if you like, you can lengthen your right leg out and flex the right foot. And that's not necessary. It can be kind of a strain on the low back sometimes when you lengthen out like that. So if you prefer to have your right leg bent also, that's fine. We're getting this nice stretch on the low back on the left side. It's just real gentle. You hardly even, at least some people would hardly even notice it. And we're getting a nice gentle massage of the internal organs on the left side each time we breathe, where the thigh presses into the belly. And then let's circle the left foot, getting into every part of the ankle. And then reverse the circle. Nice and slow circles. And now let's point and flex the left foot. So pointing, toes curl down, flexing, spread the toes as wide as you can. Pointing and flexing, and a few more times. And once more. And then go ahead and release the left foot down. And let's go ahead and lengthen out. What we're going to do next is a vinyasa for the hip joint. We're going to be moving the hip joint in various ways. Actually, we're moving the leg in the hip joint in various ways. And I'll show it to you to begin with. And what we're going to do is we'll exhale and bring the right knee in. Inhale, we'll open the right knee out to the side, left arm out to the side. Exhale, over the other way, so the right knee comes left, right arm is out to the side. Inhale, your foot goes up to the ceiling. And exhale, draw your knee back in. And inhale, lengthen, okay? So we'll go through it. I'll call it out for you. And we'll go ahead and start with the right side. We'll do right and left and several times through. All right, so don't let the name Vinyasa worry you. It just means movement with breath. So, okay, let's bring our arms overhead. And then we're going to exhale, bring the right knee in, holding around your shin or your thigh. Inhale, open your right knee to the right, your left arm to the left. Exhale, the knee goes to the left and the right arm to the side. Inhale, your right foot, the sole goes to the ceiling. Exhale, knee towards the chest. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, draw your left knee in. Inhale, open the left knee to the left, right arm out in the T. Exhale, bring your left knee to the right, left arm over to the left. Inhale, lift your foot up towards the ceiling. Exhale, draw your knee in towards your chest. Inhale, lengthen out. We'll do the right side again. Exhale, knee in. Inhale, your right knee to the right. Exhale, your right knee to the left. Inhale, your foot to the ceiling. Exhale, your right knee towards your chest. Inhale, lengthen the arms and legs out. Exhale, left knee in. Inhale, open out to left knee to the left. Exhale, left knee to the right. Inhale, foot up towards the ceiling. Exhale, knee in towards the chest. Inhale, lengthen out. And let's go through it one more time. Exhale, right knee in. Inhale, right knee to the right. Exhale, right knee to the left. Inhale, foot towards the ceiling. Exhale, your right knee in towards your chest. Inhale, lengthen out. And now left knee into the chest. Left knee to the left. Exhale, left knee to the right. Inhale, foot towards the ceiling. Exhale, knee towards the chest. Inhale, lengthen out arms and legs, and come back with your arms at your side. Okay, so we've woke up our hip joint here a little bit. Having movement in the joints gets the synovial fluid moving so that the joint moves more smoothly. All right, bring your arms down by your side. And we're going to do some pelvic tilts. We're going to exhale and press the low back into the floor. And inhale, release. We'll do this a few times. Exhale, low back to the floor. Inhale, release. When I say release, that means space between the low back and the floor. Exhale, low back down. Inhale, release. And now we're going to move on into bridge pose. But if you don't think that bridge pose is a good pose for you, continue doing these pelvic tilts. We'll all start the same way by exhaling and pressing the low back into the floor. Those of you who are going to move into bridge, inhale and lift your hips. And you want to make sure, just lift up to whatever place you can, whatever's comfortable for you. You want to make sure that your knees aren't flaying out or going in towards each other. They need to be coming straight out of your hips and to keep your back safe. So breathe here. You're resting on your shoulders. Your face and your neck and throat are soft. Your forehead is soft. We're getting a nice little back bend here. On your next exhale, let's come on down. And then take a breath. And let's do it one more time. I'm going to offer you another option for bridge pose. Again, you can still be doing pelvic tilts, or you can do bridge like we just did it. Or if you want a little more, you can tuck your shoulders underneath your body and bring your hands together underneath and lift up your hips so that, and reach with your hands towards your feet. And sometimes you can get a little more height in your bridge than you did without your hands underneath, and maybe not. You may be feeling this in your thighs a little bit. And again, your face is soft, you're breathing. If your hands are underneath, release them, and then exhale your hips down. Now, that was a back bend, so let's do an opposite kind of pose. Let's bring both knees in, hold around your shin or your thighs, and lift up your head, coming into a little ball, and get a nice stretch along the back of your body. And then release out of that. And if you felt that in your thighs, I know I did, let's do a little bit of a thigh release here. So we're going to lower the right leg out to the side. Our left leg is still bent. Now, you may feel a stretch in your quadricep already at the top of your thigh. If you want a little more, you can tuck your right foot behind your left foot and see how that feels. Just find a nice stretch area so that it doesn't hurt, but that you're getting a nice stretch. For me tonight, it's going to be with my right foot outside of my left foot. We'll just take a few breaths here, just relaxing into this nice stretch for the quadricep. When you're ready, slide your foot out from behind your left foot, if you have it behind, and then lift up your right leg. Now we'll do it to the other side. So we're going to lower our left knee to the side and then try to find a nice stretch. So on this side, I feel like I can tuck my left foot behind my right foot. Oh yes, and get a nice stretch that isn't too intense. So just experiment and see where you get a nice stretch and not too intense. Something that you feel, but it doesn't hurt. All right, let's slide that foot back and lift up the left knee. And then let's roll onto one side. And if you have your blanket handy, we're going to roll onto the right side and keep the blanket behind you on the left, so it'll be behind your back. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to do the mermaid twist. We're going to have our knees on top of each other. We'll have a 90-degree angle here at our hips and a 90-degree angle here at our knees. So it's like we're sitting in a chair, but we're lying down. And we'll have our left hand on top of our right. And we're going to open out with the inhale and close with an exhale. And we want to keep our knees on top of each other. We don't want them sliding, because this is going to help. If you have your knees right on top of each other, this will help your pelvis stay aligned. Okay, so we'll inhale out up here, arm up towards the ceiling, opening out to wherever you can. And then exhale, come back. It's a nice slow movement. It's a bit of a twist. Inhale, open. And exhale, close. Now, so far, my left hand is not reaching the floor. Inhale, open. But as we do this a little more, a few more times, you may find your body releasing just a little bit. Exhale, closed. And then let's do this 2 more like this. Inhaling, open. And exhaling, close. And this will be our last one where we open and close. So inhale, open. And exhale, close. This next time we're going to stay open and we're going to, yes, and then stay for a few breaths. So we're going to lift our left arm up and over and all the way over as far as you can. If your arm doesn't reach the floor, tuck the blanket underneath. If you're, or yeah, whatever you like. Actually, my hand did finally reach the floor. Now make sure that your knees are still together. And just enjoy the opening of the chest here, feeling the hips stacked, the nice twist. You may feel the twist all the way from your left hip up to your left armpit. Do we all feel like mermaids? Let's inhale and bring the arm back all the way over. All right, let's turn to the other side, and I'm going to turn so that I'm still facing you. Okay. Again, we have the 90-degree angle from lower leg to through the knee, and a 90-degree angle from the thigh up your side. So a 90-degree angle at your hip. And then our knees are stacked nicely, our hips are nicely stacked. And we're going to do the same thing that we did before. Right hand on top, we're going to inhale up and out and over. And then close back up again. And I'm just a little too close to the wall. Okay, inhaling up. And all the way open to whatever you can do. And exhaling, coming back. And we'll do this 3 more times. Nice and slow and easy to give our body a chance to relax into this stretch. And you may find that you are more flexible on this side, or maybe less flexible, or maybe the same. But I find that I'm a little more flexible here. My right hand comes all the way to the floor, which my left hand didn't until the very end. I think this is the 5th one. And then come back to close. And now this time we're going to keep our arm over to the side. We're going to hold it. So inhale up and open out. And feel this nice twist in your body. And again, if your hand doesn't reach the floor, that's okay. Tuck your blanket underneath if you like. We're getting a nice stretch here from our right hip along the side of the body and up to the armpit, maybe into your arm as well. And then let's close our hands again, coming back to our side. And then let's sit up. So press into the floor and come on up. All right. I always like to sit on a blanket. One of the things it does is it helps to release your hips a little bit. Now, I haven't talked about this for a while, so I'll talk about it now. If you're sitting on a blanket, you don't want your bottom to be way back on the blanket. You want to be sitting on the edge here so that your hips can release forward a little bit, your pelvis can release forward. So sitting with your bottom all the way back just makes you a little bit higher off the ground. So as you're sitting on the edge of your mat, of your blanket, just notice how your pelvis may tilt a little bit forward, and so you get that natural curve in your back a little more easily than if you were on the floor itself. We're coming into easy pose, which is not always easy for everybody. It's a Sanskrit name is Sukhasana. And again, we're going to press into our sits bones and notice what that does. It helps us to lift up through the spine. Oh, yes. And let's just take a few moments here, hands on our knees or lap. Close the eyes. Feel your ears over your shoulders releasing down from your ears. Just sitting in this nice pose. All right. Open your eyes. And let's go ahead and do a side bend. So we'll take the right hand to the floor and the left arm up by the ears. And we're going to lengthen through the spine by pressing down through our sits bones, lengthening up on the inhale and exhale over to the side. Now, it's not so important how far down you go. Some people come with their arm all the way down, and that's great. But for those of us who don't, that's all right too. The idea is to go just as far as you have a good stretch on the side of your body. And we press into the left sits bone to make sure that we get that stretch as deep as we can. And then let's bring the left hand down and walk our hands around to the front. Lengthen through the spine here, and then lift on up. We're going to take our left hand to the side and our right arm up by our ear. And again, press down through the sits bones to lengthen through the spine and inhale. And then exhale over to the left. And again, making sure you're still pressing down on the right sits bone so that you end up with a stretch all the way from your hip up to your armpit. And if this is really hard on your shoulder, you can just lift your shoulder with your arm by your side. You still get that nice stretch all the way up the side of your body. And then let's go ahead and bring the right hand down and walk around to the front and come on up. If you are feeling like you don't like Sukhasana anymore, you can stick your legs out, whatever you like. All right, we're going to concentrate on keeping our back in alignment for this next part. We're going to be circling the body. And so we're going to come forward, leading with the chest, then over to the side and all the way back. And we're not rounding the back at all. We're just circling around. This is called stirring the pot in yoga. I kind of like that. The next time that you come to the front, pause again. And then we'll come around the other direction. And the circle may be quite big or it may be little. It's all depending on what you are comfortable with. Let's do, next time we come to the front, let's stop and then sit up. All right, now we will go ahead and round the back doing seated cat and cow. So let's go ahead and let's use our arms to help us with this. We're going to inhale and pull on our hands, feel our chest come forward and the pelvis moves forward, and we're coming into seated cow. And then we're going to move back, rounding into seated cat. And then inhaling, coming forward. The elbows may bend here as you're coming forward. And exhale, going into cat. And your arms are probably straight here. And the movement, just like when we're on hands and knees, the movement starts from the pelvis and then moves up the spine. So we're getting more motion in the hip joint here. Let's do one more back and forth. And then come to stillness. We're going to next do something for our shoulders a little more. Just take the right hand out in front in a gentle fist. And we're going to open the arm out. And as we open the arm out, we're going to open one finger at a time. So opening all the way around. And when you get all the way to the back, make a flex your wrist. And then come all the way forward. And we'll do that one more time. Opening out the fingers. I'm getting a lot of cracks over here. And then flexing the wrist and then closing the fingers one at a time as you come forward. And then release. And now the other hand, opening out to the side, one finger at a time, opening. Flex the wrist. And then close the fingers one at a time, coming forward. And one more time, we're going to open out. Flex the wrist. And then come back around. Good. And release your hand down. I'm going to move in towards the camera a little bit, so maybe you can see what's going on. We're going to make gentle fists and just rotate here. Really getting into the wrists. And then reverse. And then take your right hand on your left knuckles here and press down gently so that you get a nice stretch across the back of your wrist. And then the other way, take your right hand across the bottom knuckles and press back so that you get a nice stretch across this part of your wrist. And then we'll do the same with the other hand. Left hand presses down on the right hand. And then we'll go the other direction, opening up the wrist there. Yeah. And then release. And let's move to the fingers. We're going to stretch them a little bit. Take the thumb on the left hand and just fold it down as much as it'll go. And then release that. And then we're going to bring the thumb back as much as possible. I know people have a lot more flexibility in their thumbs than I do. Mine barely moves towards me here. And then we'll take the index finger and keeping the other fingers up, we're going to press down so that we get a stretch across the back of the hand as well as the finger itself. And then we'll take the finger and hold it back. And this time we're getting a stretch of maybe all the way down into the palm. And then the middle finger, pressing forward. And then pressing back on the middle finger. Ring finger, pressing down. Ring finger, pressing back. And finally, the little finger on this hand, pressing forward and pressing back. And now we'll do the same on the right hand. We'll take the thumb and pull it down towards the side as much as you can. You get a bit of a stretch in the webbing there. And then we'll move it back towards the body as much as is possible. And then index finger, folding forward. And then folding back. And middle finger, folding forward. And folding back. Again, you want just a nice feeling of a stretch across your palm. Ring finger, folding forward. And then folding back. And then little finger, folding forward. And folding back. And then just shake it out. Okay. Let's come to easy pose one more time. We're going to do, I want you to keep track of which leg is in front. It doesn't matter, just remember. We're going to do a twist. We're going to turn, it's a gentle twist. We're going to come facing the right thigh. And then we're going to fold forward. And our right hand is going to be behind us to help keep our left sits bone down. And then we're going to take the left hand to wherever we can. It might be in front of your body, kind of off to the right side, maybe even across your leg. The farther your hand goes around to the right, the left hand goes to the right, the deeper the twist. And then release your left hand, come up and turn towards center. And then we're going to turn our body to look over the left thigh. We're going to have the left hand behind to help keep our right hip down. Fold forward. We have this nice back that's aligned. We're not rounding over it all. And then we take the right hand and move it to wherever we can. So again, in front of the body or off to the side a little, or so far, just wherever you can reach. Now I feel my right hip coming up, so I'm going to press into my left hand to help that right hip stay down. You may find that you can go more deeply on one side than the other, not unusual, and it's all okay. And then release your right hand, come up, and come back to center. And let's go ahead and shake out our legs a little bit here. And now we're going to cross our feet in the opposite direction. And you'll know it's the opposite one because it will feel odd. Okay. We're going to do the same thing again. We're going to turn to the right. And then our right hand will be behind us to help keep our left sits bone down. We keep our spine aligned and come forward, always leading with the chest. And then we take our left hand and bring it to whatever place feels good to you. And then release your left hand, come on up and come back to the center. Last thing here, we're going to turn our body to go look across our left thigh. Our left hand will be behind. We'll come forward with leading with the chest and keeping our back aligned. And then we'll bring our right hand to wherever feels good to you. Okay. Now with my legs crossed this way, I can't take my right arm quite as far as with my legs crossed the original way. And then release your right arm, lift up and untwist. And let's go ahead and shake out our legs. And we'll come to our backs now. One last thing for our hips. We have our knees bent and our feet on the floor. And we're going to lift our feet and bring our knees towards our armpits. We're coming into happy baby. We're going to take our feet so the bottoms are towards the ceiling. You can hold on to your thighs, your shins, your feet, your big toe, whatever feels right to you. Just getting a nice happy baby pose here. Whatever your version is great. You might like to rock a little bit back and forth. It's a nice way to align the spine here at the end and also give yourself a little back massage. And then release out of that. Bring your feet to the floor. And let's go ahead and move into Shavasana. If there's anything else you would like to do, before you go into Shavasana, take a moment to do that. Also, you can cover yourself with your blanket or tuck it under your knees if you like. Whatever you want. Just make yourself comfortable. Okay. So go ahead and close your eyes. Focus on your breath. Deep inhale and exhale through your mouth with a sigh. And do that again. A deep inhale. Exhale with a sigh. And one more time. And feel your body relaxing into the earth. And now create a picture in your mind of a quiet retreat in the mountains. Right now you're in a cozy cabin. Out the windows you can see a snowy landscape. The cabin is on a mountainside and is surrounded by trees and rocks. Looking out the window, you can see huge rocks towering above the cabin. Between a crack in the rocks, you can see a trickle of steaming water. The snow all around this trickle of water is melted, exposing the gray rocks on either side. The water flows down into a natural pool. Imagine you are wearing sandals and a warm bathrobe over a bathing suit. You're preparing to go out to the hot springs. Picture opening the front door of the cabin and going outside and stepping out into the snow. As you walk along the path to the hot springs, some of the snow touches the top of your bare feet. It is so cold, you feel a tingling sensation where the snow touched your skin. As you approach the water, you see steam rising from the hot springs. There is so much steam, the air around you is foggy. You reach the side of the hot springs where the hot water has melted the snow all around. The springs are perfectly clear and held in a hollow made of rock. The water at the side of the springs is shallow. Imagine stepping out of your bathrobe and laying it on the warm, dry rocks where the snow has melted. You step out of your sandals and into the steaming water. The water at the edge of the pool is ankle deep. After feeling the cold snow, the water feels very hot on your feet. The air around is cold and snowflakes are falling gently. To get relief from the cold, you step further into the hot springs. The rocks make natural seats in the water. You can sit down in the water, which comes up to just below your chin. Feel the luxurious warmth all around you. Your hands and feet feel tingly and hot at first, eventually setting into a pleasant feeling of warmth. The water is just the right temperature. Your feet rest on the smooth rock bottom of the hot springs, and you can lean back against the gently sloped stone sides of the pool. Imagine leaning back and closing your eyes with a sigh. Allow your body to completely relax. The warmth of the water surrounds you. Let your arms rest at your sides, floating just a little. Allow the muscles of your arms to relax completely. Your arms feel heavy and relaxed, and at the same time, weightless. It is such a calm, pleasant feeling. Feel your neck and shoulders relaxing, surrounded by warmth. The hot water brings relaxation and calm. Your shoulders lower slightly, relaxing, easing the tension away, becoming loose and relaxed. Feel your upper back relaxing, your collarbones, your chest. You are so relaxed. You can feel the water against your skin, gently moving. Allow your stomach and lower back to relax, letting go of tension. So warm, so relaxed. Feel your legs relaxing all the way from your hips to your knees to your feet. Your legs are so warm and relaxed. Like your arms, your legs feel heavy, but also weightless as they float slightly in the water. Feel the warmth all around you. The hot springs soothe your muscles. You can relax completely. You feel the coolness of snowflakes on your forehead. What a wonderful contrast from the hot water. Let all your stresses escape, drifting away like the rising steam. It is so quiet here, so peaceful. Feel your muscles relaxing even further. You are completely warm, deeply relaxed. Just relax now, enjoying these beautiful hot springs for the next few minutes. Feel free to stay here in the hot springs if you wish, or if you care to join me in the closing, then begin to move your small muscles like fingers and toes, wrists and ankles, and then move your big muscles like with a full body stretch or whatever feels good to you. And then when you're ready, roll to one side, press yourself up into a comfortable seat. Bring your hands together in Anjali Mudra. May the long-time sun shine upon you. All the love surround you, and the pure light within you guide you along. Thank you for joining me this evening. Namaste.